Hello and welcome to HezFM Recap. A boy and his dogs work together to preserve the town from being destroyed by the new mayor, the residents, and turn off the electricity. Today, we'll review the narrative of 2021's Paw Patrol, the motion picture. When the hatchlings were born, a hatchling turtle's mother directs it to the seas to get where they're going. They have to cross a bridge, but one of the little turtles gets left behind. When the turtle does make it to the pavement, he or she is startled to see a runaway truck. The driver was distracted behind the wheel, but when he or she realizes that there is an animal in the road, he or she does everything possible to avoid hitting it. The result is a serious accident, and the truck is left hanging from the bridge. Ryan and his puppies arrive at the bridge to render aid and work together to block the scene of the accident. Chase uses the hook from his backpack to hold on and reach the terrified driver. The man resists being saved by a puppy, but Chase persists and manages to get him safely back to the bridge. In Adventure City, where Liberty the street dog lives, Ryder rushes to help the turtle return with his family and commends his team for another successful rescue. Despite being a mutt without a family, the small dog is adored by most of the locals, and it is said that Liberty is the most devoted of all the dogs in Adventure City. On Election Day in Marty, the local news reporter informs us that Mayor Humdinger was chosen after the other candidate withdrew since he was the only person running for the job. This was done without the approval of any locals because he was the only person in the running for the position. The new mayor's security guards prevent Liberty from entering the town square to hear him speak because, according to Humdinger's order, dogs are not permitted there. However, Liberty manages to slip inside without them noticing. In his speech, the mayor outlines the first changes he plans to make to the city and mentions his intention to demolish public spaces like libraries and museums in order to create more private spaces. To construct new projects, the dog park will also be destroyed in addition. In his final statement, Humdinger modifying the town, including even the residents won't be able to identify it at the Liberty ends the event and calls the PAW Patrol to inform them of what transpired. The dog claims to be a huge admirer of the and informs them that Humdinger is on the plans to completely destroy the city. Committed to assist the locals, Ryder requests that the dogs pack their bags and leave there, but Chase claims he won't participate. The dog has many memories of this mission. Adventure City related trauma since it was quickly forgotten on those streets. After the puppy was born, Ryder found him there. The boy then took the puppy to his home in Adventure Bay, where he learned of his friend's trauma. The young man decided to go talk to him and reassured him that everything would be okay because now Chase was not alone. After a brief conversation, he managed to convince Chase to give Adventure City another chance because the residents there desperately needed the PAW Patrol's assistance. While Ryder drove, the dogs enjoyed themselves inside the bus and snacked while the mayor broke into the laboratory of the young woman claims that the cloud catcher was created to collect clouds that will be studied in the lab rather than to control the weather, but Humdinger threatens to close that place if Kendra refuses to carry out his request. Eventually, the young woman is forced to give in and she turns on the cloud catcher and the machine starts to do its job of clearing the skies, making room for a beautiful sunny day. Kendra, a brilliant scientist, asks about her cloud-sucking machine. He says that because of the rain, his celebration with fireworks that was scheduled to take place that night was cancelled, so he has to find a way to change the weather. The mayor uses the device's remote control to control its capacity, but he steals it and says he will keep it. Minutes later, the PAW Patrol arrives at their new headquarters, and the Ryder shows the city map. That evening, Humdinger gathers hundreds of people to watch his fireworks show. Excited for the show, the mayor decides to unleash all the fireworks at once, and his cats assist him in bringing about all the chaos that follows. The uncontrolled fireworks burning eventually results in an accident, and bombs start to go off inside the city. The entire team gets ready for the mission after dressing in costume, picking up their new vehicles, and driving quickly to the location. However, the group is caught off guard by a traffic jam, and Liberty offers to help them get a shortcut with the assistance of the dog within minutes. The PAW Patrol realizes that something is wrong and soon discovers that the mayor's fireworks play has turned into a beautiful disaster. The group then needs to contain them before the city ends up burning down. Patrol arrives at their target and begins after her as Chase circles the perimeter. Marshall and Rocky use their water cannons to put out the fires. The security guards take the mayor from the large mess, and they depart after encircling the area. Chase uses his parachute to reach the people he sees stranded on the balcony, but as soon as he gets there, his parachute bursts and pulls him away, understanding that the cub is in danger. When they are rescued, the villagers assist in the chase down, so Ryder rushes to help him and Marshall uses his water cannon to put out the flames that was ready to engulf his comrade. Him and see how the dog is doing. Chase feels ashamed of his performance and is regretful to learn that he nearly obstructing the mission while observing. The report Humdinger is incensed to witness the journalist praising the PAW patrol and directs his employees to remove all of those dogs the following morning. Liberty maneuvers her wagon across the roadways and informs Tony, the proprietor of the fruit stand, recounts her journey. Had the previous evening before the dog said that day was the greatest of her life, because she briefly felt as though she was a member of Paw Patrol prior to the little one leaving. Tony informs her that the mayor is constructing new trails and cautions the dog to avoid them. Even after the cloud catcher has been turned on for several hours, it is still active and nearly at capacity, but Humdinger is not in the slightest concerned about this and seizes the chance to enjoy another beautiful day. That afternoon, Humdinger is busy launching his new invention. To add more adventure to that city, the mayor has created roller coaster tracks where the people can ride. Kendra tries to tell the mayor, but he orders his men to throw her out. Subway is to pass without giving the traveler any prior notice. Humdinger gives one of his cats the task of changing the course of the next train, surprising everyone. As the train starts to make strange turns and slides down the tracks, an accident occurs, turning the cars upside down. Realizing that his new invention has been a disaster, the mayor decides to flee, leaving the Paw Patrol to handle yet another issue. The passengers then call for assistance from Ryder and his friends, who show up quickly. Next, Chase is tasked with rescuing the passengers and rushes to the top of a building in order to build a zipline and get to the wagon, but he is paralyzed and cannot muster the courage to act. Liberty arrives in her cart to help. Rocky and Ruble are then sent to stop the bridge from collapsing. Sky uses her helicopter to keep the rails stable while the quick-drying cement takes effect. Marshall is entrusted with replacing Ryder once Sky sees what has happened and uses his fireman's ladder to reach the passengers. He then needs to persuade them. Ryder instructs the dog to go rescue her friend and bring him back to the earth. To descend and enable everyone to exit securely, witnessing Ryder gave Chase a sad hug and accepts full responsibility for the boy. Never imagined Adventure City would possess such a detrimental impact on his friend, therefore he demanded that he go right away, because he is aware that Chase lacks empathy. The young man, though, says that for the time being, the dog won't take part. When listening to this in the missions, the small man feels mistreated. Angry, he flees, and Ryder follows after him. Chase, nevertheless, ducks in between the vehicles and manages to evade their line of sight. Seeing the dog by alone on the streets, the henchmen of the mayor find the ideal chance to get rid of one of the patrol members. The group searches for their friend until they find his collar, and Ryder starts to worry that something bad has happened to the puppy. At that point, Liberty shows up and suggests that the group start asking the residents if any of them have seen the dog. Meanwhile, Chase is being driven in a trunk to an obedience school, where he will never be found. As he converses with his cellmates, he realizes that everything is a setup by the mayor here to eradicate another part of the city. Liberty shows her new friends where her friend Carmen works, a convenience shop. When Ryder asks if she has seen the dog in the picture, the woman replies that she hasn't, but she wants the kid to hang the poster on her wall with several other pets because she claims that a lot of dogs have started to go missing over the past 2 days. After hearing this, Without a Trace quickly starts to suspect that Humdinger is capturing the animals. Liberty then devises the cunning plan to allow herself to be captured so that Ryder can follow her and locate Chase. The dog then leaps onto the mayor's lap and makes quite a commotion, only to be seen and apprehended when they got to the dog school. Liberty wonders for Chase and quickly locates her pal. After a few minutes, the PAW patrol shows up on the scene, creating a large gap in the wall to quickly release the puppies. 2 guards come into the room to discover what's happening and are assaulted after excluding those insane individuals. The entrances to all pets are free, and the rooms are open. Ryder requests that the other dogs head to the plant when he pulls over with Chase. The boy takes his companion somewhere else, the street where he came into him, and explains. He told him that when he initially saw Chase when Ryder decided to adopt the dog, who was just a puppy and on the verge of being run over in a large city, the boy explained that he had chosen the small dog because he was the bravest puppy Ryder had ever seen. After hearing this, the dog feels secure enough to return to work, and shortly after that the cloud catcher makes its final pickup before it permanently breaks down. The mayor is going to announce a new inauguration when Kendra shows there and tries to use the remote control to restart her machine, warning that if she doesn't, a tragedy will occur and her Humdinger will destroy the gadget and When the man opens the Humdinger tower, he tells how he built a tower on top of Adventure City's largest building and made it the tallest building in the world by placing his office on top. At that moment, the cloud catcher reaches its maximum capacity and ends up being damaged, releasing clouds everywhere, which causes a gigantic storm above the city. Now that her greatest fear has come true, Kendra calls Ryder and asks for the assistance of her guards to take her away from the scene. The assistance of POW Patrol during that storm. The last person to leave the headquarters is the Ryder, who as he is about to leave tells Liberty that he has a gift for the newest member of his team. Upon seeing her new vehicle, the dog can hardly believe that she will no longer have to use her rusty cart and sets off at high speed to meet her partners. Liberty observes each of her colleagues leaving in their special vehicles and feels happy to have the privilege of living that experience, while the majority of the group concentrates on obtaining such individuals. To security. Moments later, the streets are clear and everyone is fine, but Zuma notices a car in the water and calls Liberty for assistance to save that family. Sky uses her chopper to reach the machine and needs a plan to destroy it. After transforming Zuma's automobile into a submarine and the dog opening the door, he leads the passengers to Liberty's lifeboat. When a reporter notes that the mayor is in his office at the top of the tower and Ryder and Chase are removing the rest of the citizens from the streets, the youngster rushes to save him and asks the mayor initially says he won't go with the boy, but later changes his mind when the boy enters the elevator and Ryder tells him he will manually the dog then activates his motorcycle and speeds up the building, only to discover that Ryder is in the building next door. The dog tries to throw his hook to cross safely, but the gale pushes the rope down and drags the dog after it recovers from the scare. Despite knowing, Chase summons all his bravery and leaps to the other side. Despite the fact that he is in grave risk of falling from an enormous height, he manages to cross and discovers Ryder pinned beneath a big concrete block. After assisting Ryder in freeing himself, the two give each other a hug and the youngster expresses his pride in his friend for trying to escape safely. Sky travels through the clouds and comes across the gadget, but even after all this time, the machine's still spitting forth thick clouds that intensify the storm. The dog tries to trap the device with a net, but eventually is struck by lightning, and the rope breaks. Just before the collision, she attempts to stabilize her craft once more and speeds the helicopter towards the direction of the machine. When the device explodes, Sky presses the eject button and escapes in time. The clouds vanish, the device is destroyed, and Sky descends rapidly from the sky, activating her propulsion jets to reach safety. Her helicopter crashes to the ground, completely destroying itself. Ryder and Chase exit the building, the entire patrol assembles, and everyone is ecstatic to be safe after such a difficult mission. The populace emerges from the shelter to commend the POW Patrol for their outstanding work. In the meantime, Mayor Humdinger tries to slink out, but Chase says he is being arrested for his carelessness in endangering people and for seizing the town's dogs in an attempt to evade his sentence. The man tries to flee, but Sky uses her tiny drone to bring him back as a token of appreciation for their bravery. When the POW Patrol is given the city's key, Ryder makes use of the momentous occasion. To welcome Liberty to his team, the young man is called for a new mission by the POW Patrol, this time with the assistance of their new official member. Tell us what you thought of the film in the comments section below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. Till next time, bye.